Confirmed quarter-finalists at the UK Open this year. Rapid Ricky Evans, Martin Lukeman and Dimitri van den Berg. Gian van Veen or Damon Heta now fighting it out for the right to join those three in the last eight. Can tell you on the main stage, Dave Chisnell 3-2 up on Luke Littler as well. But the Aussie #1 Damon Heta has battled through to this stage. He saw off his compatriot Simon Whitlock 10-8 in his opening game from 7-8 behind. He then beat Nathan Aspinall 10-9 from 8-4 down. He has really had to work hard, but he's played at a good level, averaging around about the sort of 96 mark for the tournament so far. Gian van Veen is a weird one. Last year he made his debut in this event. He played 3 matches, averaged 100 in all of them, and was only undone in his third match by one of those typically obstinate and brilliant displays from Jim Williams. This year, he's not been playing as well as that. He's been hovering around in the low to mid-90s, but he's seen off John Henderson, Florian Hempel and Graham Usher, and now he gets a crack at Damon Heta, a man where he has produced some of his very best stuff. He beat him at the European Championship, averaging 107 towards the back end of last year, and he beat him on the Euro Tour prior to that, averaging 115 nearly. He walloped him 6-0. Heta will have a little bit of revenge on his mind for that one, I think.
I don't think those displays have been forgotten, Dan. But if we get anything close to that, we're going to like it. And this is not going to start.
123.
Been a big night so far for Smash. Lukeman through to the quarters. And Ricky Evans, his celebration at the end of his win
100.
tells you everything you need to know. He is ecstatic to be in his second major quarterfinal. But this is a huge game. When you see
41.
that Van Gerwen's not there and Price is not there and other people have fallen throughout the course of the day, you want to be here tomorrow to have the chance of what Gilding
96.
did last year. He's gone too. He was obliterated by Snakebite.
Look, let's have it right. If Damon Heta wins this title, it is less of a surprise
99.
than Andrew Gilding winning it last year. I would argue that Gian van Veen winning this title would be less of a surprise, even though he's obviously ranked outside the top 40 in the world. But he is so highly regarded,
100.
and he is a semi-finalist at the European Championship, where he started off the campaign beating Damon Heta.
Brilliant. Expect plenty of that.
Damon, you require 147.
May just be a warning sign to Heta, a fresh one at that. That if he's not on it tonight, Van Veen
97.
will be.
Gian, you require 58.
Double top.
Game shot on the first one.
Beautiful stuff. Gian van Veen, 180 setup shot, 58 taken out in 2 darts. Breaker throw and a 1-0 lead.
Don't underestimate just how much Van Veen will want to succeed here at Minehead after being so close to being World Youth Champion a few months ago. It's probably good for him that he's having this run so he can maybe be on a collision course with Littler again.
46.
That could happen if they both win here tonight. Imagine the narrative of that. A World Youth final that took place in late November could be a
83.
quarter-final, a semi-final, or a final of a ranked major title merely weeks later.
Yeah, they're both on winning runs, these two, as well. Damon Heta won the most recent Pro Tour event, and then obviously won a couple of games here, so he's on a 9-game winning run. Gian van Veen, last weekend, won the most recent Development Tour title, and then won 3 games here. He's on an 11-game winning run. So somebody's little streak is going to be halted here.
160.
I'm on a 3-game winning run. I played soft tip darts with some people at the fans village during the break. One of them was Andy Hamilton, so there you go.
96.
Andy Hamilton, former world #5 World Championship finalist, man who never played soft tip before as well, though. So.
Thanks for that, Dan.
Just a caveat there. That's
Raining
all.
on my parade here. I haven't had a
Well
3-game
done,
winning streak
Paul
for years.
Nicholson. Well
Gian
done.
requires 64.
Are we going to be saying, well done, Gian van Veen on a 64? Ooh, that nearly bust it. And that has very much won it.
Gian
starting with a purpose. And the last thing Heta needs is another game like he had this afternoon with Aspinall. Doesn't want to have to go through that all the time because it just saps your energy reserves.
96.
Yeah, but he's got some real Aussie grit about him, Damon Heta, hasn't he? He's going to fight. I know that he got ironed out a couple of occasions last year by Gian van Veen, who was sensational. He was unplayable when they met in Sindelfing, and it was just bizarre. He was hitting everything he wanted, seemingly every visit. But the European Championship, 107 average, he popped in there for a 6-1 win. I mean, Damon himself averaged 98.5. It's not like he was poor, he just wasn't, he was always a dart behind.
I remember a moment in that match when Damon realistically thought he was coming back to the board. He didn't, because Van Veen took out a sizable shot. And it was at that point, I think it was for 5-0, he just half went forward and said, oh, it's this good, is it? I might not even get another look. And he didn't.
Yeah, he's got that in his locker, Gian van Veen. And look, last year he was throwing massive, massive numbers, right up there in the top 10 in terms of the averages. He won the development tour, where Luke Littler was part of it, remember? Maybe this year the numbers won't be quite so good, but if he keeps on winning games, it won't matter. Damon Heta did exactly that last year. The year prior, when he reached the quarterfinals of this event, he was throwing silly figures right up there with the very, very best. Last year they weren't so good, but he still won many games. Many, many games. Double 16. Double 8. He's on the board.
Damon Heta.
Very important that. Keep things tight in the first half of the game. Find your best stuff towards the end. And against Aspinall this afternoon, he left himself on double 18 and needed a couple of visits to get it done, but did. Aspinall was crestfallen at the end of that one because he's played some great stuff the last few days.
Yeah, certainly has. It's worth noting as well, when Damon reached the quarterfinals of this a couple of years ago, so he is defending that prize money, but he came here as the world number 11. He is already provisionally back in the top 10 with Danny Noppert dropping out, even if he loses this game. Were he to go on a run and he picks up his first maximum, find himself in the final, he'd be as high as world number 7, a career high for Heta. That's whether he wins the title or not.
140.
Win the title, he'd be the first Aussie to do so as well, because Australians have never won this title. In fact, the only ranked major titles won by Australians have been in Germany and at the Circus Tavern. Nobody from Australia has won a ranked major here.
Yeah, Simon Whitlock, full-blown Aussie winning the European Championship. Paul Nicholson, sort of semi-Aussie, winning the Players' Championship finals.
A posse.
How about this, double 14? Proper stuff, Damon Heta. Now he's arrived in this game. He is not going to let Gian van Veen walk all over him as he did at the European Championship.
Yeah, this is defiant, and I love that word when it's used properly, because that really was defiant. It's one of those shots that when you hit it,
99.
It's not going to be today where you roll me over, Gian van Veen. Heta's in too much of a fettle to have a bit of a dust-up.
100.
And we mentioned this earlier when we talked about Ross Smith. I mentioned Damon Heta and this mantra that he's got about just letting them go. You can look, this pace, this rhythm, this fluidity to his throw, this is what he's aiming for. When he's feeling good, and he does speed up when he's playing well, Damon Heta, but he's just trying to sort of kickstart it by going, let's play at that pace from the start and I'll get there quicker.
He does what Gary Anderson does. He aims dart 1 and he flows with dart 2 and 3. It's taken him, in my opinion, a good 18 months to get the rhythm right, because at first when he tried it, it was just a bit quick. Now,
100.
He's bringing that arm back with purpose. It's very similar to the rhythm that he had when he first won a Players' Championship in Niederhausen against Joe Cullen a few years ago.
60. January 161.
He comes away with 60. With this leg hanging in the balance at the moment. Does he bring the bull into play? No, he's going to gamble on the treble, and he gets it. It pays off.
Damon, you require 144.
Seen a few of these the last couple of days. Saw Rob Cross have a crack at it earlier this afternoon when he planted 105 average against one of his best mates, Josh Rock.
24.
See Rob Cross against Keen Barry at the end of the night here. Double six. Dream Guide. Beautifully used.
Gian Van Veen. Sixth leg, it's Gian to throw first. Game on.
This looks like it has the makings of a real battle. Early days, I know, we're only getting into the sixth leg here, but Gian Van Veen's average is up at 106.
96.
What is it about Damon that he loves playing so much? Well, is it the pace? Is it just
100.
the fact that he's relaxed against him? It must be something.
Look, Heta has won 3 times against. He beat him on the Euro Tour. Wasn't a good game on the Euro Tour in Budapest last year, but Damon won it. He had beaten him prior to that in floor events
100.
a couple of times, and he'd averaged over a ton on both occasions. But the real standout games, a 6-0 walloping with that unbelievable 115 average nearly from Van Veen, and then the European Championship, which is obviously a big one. That is their only major event meeting prior to this. But you'd probably say that this is the biggest meeting that they have had, with it being for a quarter-final spot at the UK Open, even though Van Veen obviously converted that European Championship win into a semi-final run.
Well, ranking money-wise, the only way this can be bettered if you go to the floor of the European Tour is if it was in a final.
Yeah, 30 grand for a Euro Tour
59.
title, so they are big games. They are yet to meet in one of them. Wouldn't surprise you, though, would it?
Not at all. Are you excited about the European Tour coming back next week, or is that just the world's stupidest question?
Yes.
96. January
both.
156.
156, 60, 60, double 18. There's the first one. There's the next one. Double 18 for a 156.
Go start.
120. Damon, you require 85.
I like that go start on dart 3 because sometimes you can throw it a bit too fast and a bit jerky. This needs to be central. Oh, the line was good.
Just
had a bit too much on it. This time Van Veen gives it a little thrust before he goes for dart 1. Can he do what Smash did in hitting double 9? Yes, he can for 4-2. Not drastic for Heta yet. He doesn't want to let Van Veen get too far ahead, i.e. 3 legs or 4 legs. That's where things start to get a bit Smash v Anderson-esque.
Yeah, a double break would start to cause him some anxiety, but a couple of legs for Van Veen, then a couple for Heta, then a couple for Van Veen.
Main stage is looking pretty tasty between Littler and Chisnell. It's 4-4.
100.
5 maximums for Chisnell, 1 for Littler. They're both averaging over 101.
Yeah, Littler 4 out of 5 on the doubles as well. Big scoring Dave Chisnell and Luke Littler finishing everything. One of those clashes. Saw one of those between Clayton and Ross Smith earlier on, and it was the finisher who prevailed, Johnny Clayton.
100.
Maximum for Van Veen.
I always like it when you see a player who hits a maximum and just does the invisible pointing. I've always wondered who they're pointing at.
59.
Johnny Clayton's pointing to everybody watching through the lens.
It's a very specific point from the ferret.
Well, that's a nice ton. That's a lovely miss. Because if he'd hit a 1 there, or a 5, that shot would be a lot harder.
Yeah, he was looking for the 25. An extra 5 points means he doesn't have to use the bullseye when he comes back.
140.
Here, he may have to.
121.
Does he make the most of the good fortune? He does not. Chasing the treble means he's got 19 left.
105.
Can Heta steal this one away on his own throw?
Treble 18 for double. Gets the treble. Or just outside, and this is for a double breaker throw. Huge opportunity for Gian Van Veen to ensure he will not trail at the break. That's usable. That is as well.
Just get the angle right.
No score.
He had 3 guides, but no hit.
Damon, you require 36.
Shades of this afternoon for Damon Heta, who needs double 9 now to get within 1. Oh no. The poisonous dart that he cannot use in his hand. You almost want to throw it into the ether. And the way he will feel worse is if double 4 goes in.
Well, he was given plenty of opportunities there, Gian Veen, but he does eventually take them. Damon Heta with the cardinal sin of missing inside. And look, it's easy to criticise him for it, but at least he's attacked the double. He's not wasting a dart by just throwing it outside. But that is always the danger.
There aren't many worse feelings in darts than being on a double. Double 18, everybody likes it. But nobody likes double 9. But when you split and then you split again, you've got that dart in your hand and you think, well, what am I going to do with this then? Throw it away into a single 1 and hope? It's a horrible feeling.
Well, he did come from 8-4 down against Nathan Aspinall on the main stage earlier on this afternoon. It's not advisable to give your opponents leads. But he has shown that he has got what it takes to turn things around. And even when he won his title on the Pro Tour a matter of days ago, he trailed in the early stages and then went through a spell with 4 consecutive 12 darters against Chris Dobie.
In the live rankings, as I said that Damon Heta is scheduled to go back into the top 10 at this stage. Only half of the top 10 are left. Dave Chisnell, Peter Wright, Rob Cross, Luke Humphreys, all still alive. But someone from Australia is in trouble already.
55.
This was always going to be a tricky game. But this is a tricky situation now. It's going to have to be brilliant from
46.
here because Van Veen looks really comfy.
32.
Double 16. And despite him taking a fair few darts to find the doubles, Gian Veen's scoring is giving him those opportunities. He's had more than twice the number of darts at double than Damon Heta has had in this match. He is deservedly 6-2 up.
I think we're seeing the kind of formula from some players that will definitely
84.
take them far towards the trophy, especially for Martin Lukeman. But this kind of performance from Van Veen would take him far. The only reason he's not averaging 100
93.
is because he is hitting his double towards the end of a visit. If he's taken it a little bit sooner, he'd be on about 102, 103.
I think these, obviously, you mentioned half the top 10 are out of the tournament. Price and Van Gogh going very, very early. Michael Smith going on earlier today. But whereas the game we saw earlier between Ricky Evans and Luke Woodhouse, it kind of felt that huge, huge opportunity for them just to get to the quarterfinals, let alone go further. Could end up being the biggest weekend of their darting career so far. I don't get the feeling with these two. These two are so regularly in the mix in the back end of tournaments, and I know Van Veen's still very early in his career. You listen to him talk, he just believes that he's on the right path and everything's going fine. Damon Heta, very, very similar. He feels that it doesn't matter if I don't win a major title today or next week or next month. I'm going the right way. Things are happening for me. There's no desperation about either of them.
I agree with you. And I think the point that I was going to make in regards to these two combatants is that the quarterfinal is not a big deal for them because they are shooting higher. Whereas Evans and Woodhouse, the quarterfinal for them was a big deal. Definitely for Ricky. But when you've been there previously like Damon has, he wants more than last 8. He wants final session. He wants championship game stuff. This is for 7-2.
Championship game stuff seems a long way away for Damon Heta right now because Van Veen looking for a 5-leg lead. That is so close to the double 15.
30.
They are not good darts.
No, all of them weren't. Damon's got to pounce all over that. That's a horrible single, but it's in. Is double 10. Oh, actually the best start of the three.
Gian, you required 10.
Damon Heta chewing away on his dart shirt. Can he slide in alongside? Oh, it's getting harder, this. He tried to find that right corner. You could see what he was doing. It was a very tricky shot to try and pull off.
That second dart went in sideways and covered about 3/4 of the bed. Damon takes advantage eventually, but we just don't know at this stage just how valuable that hold-up throw could be.
It's only a 19 darter, but it does stop that four-leg run from Gian van Veen.
59.
And if Heta can get in at 6-4 down by breaking the throw here, he'll feel he's kind of got away with it.
Yeah, 6-4 down is a very apt point,
60.
because that's exactly how Dave Chisnell feels right now. Little's had a very good session. Averaging over 101.
180.
And he's maintained his doubling percentage in that second session as Little. He's still at 67%. Things are going up a notch here, though, as you can hear and see. But how big is the next 2 minutes going to be for Damo? 6-4 down, he'll feel good. 7-3, he'll feel sick.
128.
Good stuff from Van Veen. Leaves 1-3-4, gives him options when he returns to the board. Back to the 20s for Heta. Got to stay straight.
71.
And it catches the dart. It doesn't register at all, even if it had gone in the 5s, which looked like where it was destined he wouldn't be on a finish.
Yeah, that's the risk with that angle of attack, isn't it? Sometimes in that moment, you're better off going for a big 20.
94.
So it'll be darts at double for Van Veen for a 7-3 lead. Now, he has missed doubles in this game. It is the one Achilles heel that the Dutchman has had in this match so far.
100.
Heta down to 90, but will he be allowed back to the board? This for a 7-3 lead.
What a performance so far from Gian van Veen. A 4-leg cushion, and that felt pretty good for Martin Loekman when he went into the leg 10 break. One goes one way, the other goes the other way, and eventually follows. However, they're not following each other towards the quarterfinals. Only one can prevail, and one of them will when we return.
Well, for the third time in 3 games this evening, we find ourselves with a player looking to mount a comeback in the second session of the match. Luke Woodhouse did mount a comeback, and it took a brilliant 140 checkout from Ricky Evans to stop him in his tracks before Rapid Ricky booked his place in the quarterfinals. Gary Anderson attempted to mount a comeback, but there was no relenting from Martin Loekman in his sublime display of finishing. But it has not been sublime in the finishing from Gian van Veen, and yet he still leads by 7 legs to 3 against the Aussie #1 Damon Heta, the man who made the quarterfinals 2 years ago in this tournament. That is a little glimmer of hope for Heta. He knows that his opponent is not finishing well, but he also knows he's not playing as well as he's done so far in this tournament, or indeed this year in various tournaments. If he can get back to his normal performance levels, he's giving himself a chance, but he also knows that Gian van Veen has the spectacular in his back pocket, and it could be produced at any time.
The formula for success tonight has definitely been getting out of the blocks. If you can just be the same as before and your opponent can't find anything else, well, there you go, job done. But so often things do change after the break, and this is something that these players will be very, very well versed in now. Every time they come to Minehead and they play in the Players' Championship Finals or the UK Open, you play a best of 19 darts. Having one break in a game is something you are very, very used to.
He's wriggled free from difficult positions a couple of times already in this tournament. Heta came from behind to beat Whitlock, came from 8-4 down to beat Aspinall. But if you lock even Houdini in a safe and drop him at the bottom of the Thames enough times, eventually you're going to have a tragedy on your hands.
140. 40.
I'm just thinking back, actually, Damon Heta had 2 breaks yesterday against Whitlock.
He did, yes. Simon Whitlock, an unscheduled toilet break, which led to hilarious chants from the crowd, which I can't repeat.
60.
Gian van Veen's trying to make it a permanent break from the UK Open. Well, at least for the next year.
35.
He looks mean. Needs to go full Merv Hughes with that handlebar mustache now. Got to bowl some beamers and some Yorkers at this tall lad from the Netherlands.
100.
Two 6 is very makeable.
130.
See what Heta's trying to do here. He's just trying to get himself going because he is running out of time. Is he running out of chances? Well, he has a chance now. Get to 7-4 and build from there. And this is the kind of shot that he likes.
Damon, you require 82.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought he'd be looking at the bullseye. He is looking at the bullseye now. I don't get it. I do not get it as an option.
I don't think I've ever seen him do that.
72.
Why now?
Double 16 for 8-3, and to break Heta once again.
Didn't look like he did it.
Required 25.
This could be one of the best 25 converters in world darts.
Game shown
And he does it brilliantly.
Damon Heta.
It's a good compliment, I assure you, seeing that he's one of the best 25 converters. However, it means that with the evidence of that, he's missing a few bullseyes along the way.
But look, let's break that down. 82 left. The reason that most players will go on the bullseye is because you've got some leeway. You're going for the smallest target on the board, and you've got a bit of leeway. The 25 leaves you single to a double. If you go the treble 14 first, yes, all right, if you get it right, you've got a bigger target to go for with that treble 14, you get 2 darts at doubles to follow.
57.
And you've still got that insurance policy. You might get one at double 7 when you go to the 18s. But ultimately, you might end up on the ball and you've got to hit it.
140.
And not only that, if you're allowed back to the board, you're probably going to have to burn a dart to get to a double, where you're not going to be doing that with the bull first route.
If you were to poll the 128 tour card holders, I would strongly affirm that 100 would say that bull first is the right shot.
140.
It's one of those ask the audience situations. I guarantee you that column A, bull first, column B, bull last.
86.
Column A would be drastically favoured.
Well, Damon Heta threatening here. Is this the fight back?
56.
Because Van Veen has got a very difficult 158.
158.
And for a guy who's not really hitting many darts at double first time of asking, he's not even going to get a dart at double 19.
96.
However,
Damon requires 68.
Damon didn't put a massive hole in his previous number. But how good is he on double 16 here?
36.
That's been his biggest strength in the last 5 years. Hitting double 16 with 1 dart on a combination. But it doesn't work right now. And it could be his opponent who puts him in the bin by doing just that.
30.
Another miss from Van Veen.
32.
Heta makes no mistake this time. Double 8 comes to his rescue. 7-3 has become 7-5, and Heta has the darts, and this is rather reminiscent of the Luke Woodhouse, Ricky Evans situation we saw earlier on.
Someone that Damon knows very well in Woodhouse. He has since posted on X that he hasn't felt brilliant this weekend. He's actually quite pleased with making the last 16, but he was devastated with his performance this evening. I'll tell you somebody who isn't. Luke Littler, because he's beaten Chisnell 10-5 with 59% on the doubles.
59.
And he's through to the quarterfinals of the UK Open for the very first time in only his second UK Open.
180.
Oh, Luke Littler. Right now, he's favourite for the title. Luke Humphries yet to play. We'll see about his performance. He's averaged over a ton in both his games so far. The world #1 and world champion, the man who beat Littler in the World Championship final, of course, on January 3rd.
134.
But he was behind Littler in the betting at the start of the tournament.
Got to laugh, haven't you? He's not even in the top 24 in the world.
Damon, you require 90.
And he's the favourite for the title.
He has only played about 6 events, Mike. Well, 12 off. And it doesn't really matter for Damon because
50.
that will do. Van Veen not looking too concerned at the moment, but
58.
that will
Damon,
change
you
if
require
this
40.
continues.
Yeah, that shoulder's starting to engage on dart number 3 because now Damon is only 1 behind. Things are getting tasty once again, just like the Whitlock game from yesterday.
To throw first. Game on.
Huge leg. Fired up Damon Heta's won 3 on the spin. It was at this point where Ricky Evans pulled out a 140 finish to stop
60.
Luke Woodhouse in his tracks.
Surely all 4 games on this stage tonight are not going to follow the same pattern. Darts is not that simple.
180.
And this is a great time as well. If you're in this spot, or whether you're in Van Veen's spot even,
59.
you might have conserved a bit of energy this afternoon just in case you are in the night game. But now is not the time to reserve energy. It's time to give everything you've got
42.
and then recharge overnight, providing you do get the job done. This is what Damon is doing right now.
Well, he did have what looked like a convincing lead against James Wade in the semi-final of that European Championship, and he let it slip, but that's his first maximum since the break.
Well, he's gone for the load to leave 99, but a lot of defensive players might have gone for the 19s with the last start, but not Damo. This could be an enormous 6-dart conversion.
95. Damon, you require 99.
2 tops, that's where he's looking. Oh, well, does he go for the tops again? No, he doesn't. I
34.
thought with that guide he might have been tempted.
Gian, you require
The
107.
risk that he missed it again and leaves himself on 80. However, Gian on 107 needs to find a shot at the outer ring, and he's not going to get one. Now, what does Damo do on 65?
55. Damon, you require 65.
Does he gamble on the 25? That's the trade-off. 1 dart, a double 6, and we have 7 all. Now we're into best of 5. It's 1 set of darts to see who goes through to the UK Open quarterfinals.
Damon Heta. He's been an absolute zombie in this tournament. You think he's dead, and he just rises up and starts gnawing at your leg.
125.
8-4 down to Aspinall. He was 8-7 down to Whitlock. He was 7-3 down here, and now he's favourite to win the match.
Yeah, he's been a bit like Ned Kelly. He's been in hiding. All of a sudden, he's taking his helmet off and he's starting to hit some shots. Got to sustain it, though. That's the thing. 4 straight legs is good, but that's only half the job. Now you've got to beat him again.
59.
Damon had to reach the quarterfinals of this a couple of years ago by beating Andy Bolton, Michael Van Gerwen, and then Johnny Clayton back to back to back. It has been Whitlock, Aspinall, and now Van Veen stands in his way, and he's put himself in a position that looked unlikely earlier on, where he is favourite to get over the line and move into the last 8. A last 8 where there's a very real chance that he could be the highest ranked player left in the tournament.
Imagine that.
Dave Chisnell has gone. Luke Humphries yet to play. Rob Cross yet to play. Oh, in fact, no, Rob Cross and Peter Wright, one of those. But he's going to be one of the highest ranked players in the tournament. I'll tell you that.
Now with Dave Chisnell out, there is scope for Damon to climb the rankings a bit more over the next 26 hours.
Gian, you require 154.
He's on tops, he waits and hopes. He's still hoping.
I like the play. It would have left double 17, but I like it. It didn't work out, but you can see the thinking.
For 5 straight legs. Key shot. It's huge. 8-7 up from 7-3 down. My word, the mojo of Heta has changed unbelievably in the last 15 minutes. Gary Anderson could be watching this, and Luke Woodhouse could be watching it saying, oh, so this is how it's done. However, fair to say that Van Veen is not playing at the same level that we saw from Smash or even Ricky Evans after that 140 out.
Oh, when somebody's coming at you, you need to find something special to stop them. And Damon Heta is coming at Gian Van Veen.
He's going full on Leighton Hewitt now. He's giving it the old celebration, but the spirit and the drive and everything else is there as well. He's grasping the darts out the board like he's angry at them.
Great leg of darts this from Van Veen. But he's going to have to take this out, and he's been missing doubles, and it's a beautiful setup. A 170 to leave double 8.
He's done everything right in the last 6 darts, and he might still lose the leg. But he doesn't. It's that department of the board that's let Van Veen down over the last 10-15 minutes.
For a 10-darter, Damon Heta is on fire. Damon Heta has stormed back into this. There have been little opportunities for Van Veen. A dart at double 16 in the first leg of this session. A dart at double 16 in the second leg of this session. 2 in that last leg. He has missed them all. He has had chances to throw up roadblocks in the way of this Damon Heta train, and he has not taken any of them. And the Aussie is powering towards the quarterfinals by the looks of things. He has stuck a good 3 or 4 points on his average over the last few legs as Damon Heta.
100.
He has got better. Van Veen has faded.
I think the right word is shell-shocked, because as the adrenaline has been pumping through the veins of Damon, Van Veen has been feeling something else, and it's a lot colder.
131.
That's good. Imagine the scenario if Van Veen wins the next 3, though. The swings in emotion in darts. This is why people like watching
58.
it. This is why people play it, because it's a rush.
Good stuff from Van Veen. Really good stuff from Van Veen. He's at 7 maximums in this game. And this is against the darts. Win this leg, hold his throw in a last leg decider.
See the urgency in the eyes of both players. Look at the darts, see where they land. But if you want to be entertained, look at the players.
58. Gian, you require 90.
Wearing every emotion, Damon Heta at the minute. Double 6.
Game shown.
He needed a double. He's got to break a throw, and now we could be going the distance if, like Dan says, Van Veen holds in leg number 18.
Look, he's taken that out and he's hit the double first dart, which will be a real confidence builder for him.
45.
His first leg in this second session of the match. I do think he was playing with fire there, though, because Damon Heta not even on a finish, going to double 6. Your first option could have got stuck on double 3 and double 1, all sorts of stuff. But he's won the leg. He has to win 2 more, and Heta is coming right back at him again.
58.
That first start in the previous visit was so good. just like that one.
100.
Ends up disappointed with just a ton.
Take 4 out of 6 perfect at the start of this leg, though, wouldn't he?
He will when his opponent's all the way close to the 400 mark. You mentioned he's faltered over the last 20 minutes, but he's faltered in this leg when Heta's been thriving.
100.
That may be the last 180 he needs.
Damon Heta, since the break, has been
96.
transformed.
Damon, you require 44.
He's had a 10 darter. This is for an 11 darter. Okay, it'll have to be 12. To win it.
28.
But he'll get more chances.
He said great dart to himself as he hit that 5. Very ironic. But at least he's coming back for the same corner of the board to be in the quarterfinals for the second time in his career.
Double 4. The Aussie has done it again. It's another comeback from Heta. He was 7-3 down and won 7 of the next 8 legs. He managed to beat Aspinall from 8-4 down. He's beaten Van Veen from a similar position, and Damon Heta just does not know when he is beaten. And he isn't beaten just yet. He's in the final day of the UK Open for the second time in his career.